Hello, world. I'm late, but better late than you know what. So here I am. I have now arrived in Denmark, in Aarhus, and I'm with my friend Anne Anderson, and eventually her daughter, Christina, and Christina's husband, Benino. So it's been quite a journey here. Unfortunately, the weather is absolutely appalling, and I've been. It wasn't such a bad journey because the traffic in Denmark is somewhat different to Germany. But it is lovely, and I'm delighted to be staying with Anne. Now, let me just tell you what happened last night. I had a very interesting time because I went into a cafe and sat there and had a cup of coffee and a cake. And I want to just tell you about as you know, I'm always very much affected by films and influenced by films. And I always like to equate people that I see in the street or strangers with film stars. Now, in that cafe yesterday, there was a lady who I admired tremendously, a wonderful actress called Lila Kedrova. Now, some of you older viewers may remember her in Zorba the Greek as the old prostitute lady. And then stealing the film from Paul Newman and Julie Andrews in the Alfred Hitchcock film. I've forgotten the name now, but you'll know it. Anyway, she came in for 10 minutes and stole the film. Now she was a white Russian. Alas, she's no longer with us. But I was convinced when I was in the cafe that the lady that sat at the table with me, and she came and sat with me, was Lila Kedrova. It was a reincarnation of her, and she was wonderful. And she was from Lithuania, and she had this very slight kind of Russian type accent. And she suddenly started talking to me, and she called me Ducky, Ducky, Ducky. And she took my hand, and she said, "I can read the future in your hand." And I said, "Well, that's lovely." She said, "Can I do it?" "Yes, of course." I held my hand out, and she looked at it, and she plotted all the lines, of which there were many, and she said to me, "You are going to live long life." I said, "But I already have lived a long life." "You are going to live even longer, but you will only live long, very long life, if you are true to yourself." And I said, "Well, I always do try to do that. I don't always succeed, but I try." And so she did something very strange then. She took hold of my hand, and she was doing this and everything else, and she kissed it. And she said, "You're going to live a long time, but you must be happy because you've had much tragedy in your life." Well, it was very strange because I really thought that I was talking to one of my favorite old actresses, Lila Kedrova. So that was fascinating. And then the next thing that happened was really when I came here to the border. I passed through the border between Germany and Denmark, I have to think. Between Germany and Denmark, I got there. And they were very nice, so different to what some of the border people are. And there was a Danish man who was in uniform. And I had to wait in a queue in the car while it cleared, and it was pouring with rain. And he came up to me and he said, "You want all of these?" And he was eating what appeared to be wine gums. Well, I don't like wine gums, but to be friendly, I said, "Thank you very much." And I started to eat this wine gum. "You know," he said, "why I eat these? It's very, very good for you." And I said, "Are they? Really? Why?" "It's very good for your sex." I thought, here we go again. Why does sex have to creep up every time? He says, "I take these all the time." And I said, "Oh, well, everything is okay then for you, is it?" "No, not at all," he said. I haven't had sex for 5 years. Where do you go from there? Anyway, my darlings, I'm not going to talk too long now because I've already, it's taken me a time to connect from dear Anne's house. And I want to say hello to her and unpack my car. But I'll try and speak to you tonight at 7 o'clock. So my love to you, and I'll hopefully have some more stories for you later on. Until then, bye.